Talent shows. There are many of them, all with different names that essentially offer the same thing. Entertainment. If you can call it that. Let's look at a few cases here. What it offers the contestants, what it offers the audience, what it offers the industry as a whole, and essentially why they're all failing. So let's start with The Voice. There's genuine talent there, but there's no funny moments, so we'll give it a 5 out of 10. That's a joke. That's a joke. We're not privy to a number-based voting system here, so I want this to be taken a little bit seriously, a bit like a video essay. Anyway, like I said, there is genuine talent there. A problem with The Voice and talent shows as a whole is that there are a lot of people who are talented, to the point where it gets oversaturated. Some acts shine through at a supernova level, which unfortunately diminishes the hopes of the other acts, and raises the audience's expectations for future and current contestants. What ends up happening is these shows are chock full of people who are absolutely 100% talented. Even at audition stage, which you see on TV, there have been thousands of applicants that have been denied before even getting to that stage. Each audition session filmed for TV lasts 3.5 hours, according to The Voice former judge Gavin Rossdale. Each episode only lasts under an hour, so they really have to cut over 2.5 hours out. The 10 or so acts you see in an hour on TV in each episode are less than 1% of the total number of auditions. The judges can only allow 40 acts through to the next stage, out of roughly 60 that we see over the course of the blind auditions. We only see 60 acts in a season. Compare that to the thousands that apply each year and get declined for what? For 15 minutes of relative fame, only to die out in a year? Is it worth it? That's the first point. Overly saturated. So that leads me on to the second point. The talent isn't really what we're watching. Back to talking more specifically about The Voice. Surprisingly, for a talent show, people don't actually focus on the talent. They actually watch it for the dynamic between the coaches, who, quite frankly, can't really be called coaches. I refuse to call them coaches. I refer to them as judges, because they can hardly pass for vocal coaches themselves. For anyone who doesn't know what The Voice is, I'll give you a little rundown. The Voice is a series where people are judged in blind auditions by how they sound, not how they look. The judges sit in chairs that are facing the audience. I'll explain why this is important a bit later. They press a button if what they think they hear is especially good, and their chair turns round so they can finally see who they've been listening to. If more than one judge presses their button, then the singer has to choose which judge they want to be their coach. This usually initiates an exchange of witty banter between the judges, ending in an almost childish game of pick me, usually reserved for something you'd see on a playground.
You got the Grammys card in here? Somebody put
I got the Grammy though. I got 2. I just won one about a month or so ago.
I got 8.
I got an Oscar, 2 for music and singing. BAFTA?
Emmys.
Yeah. I won last year.
See, all of the judges are renowned for their pop star status in different fields. In the UK version of The Voice, they've had many stars such as Ollie Murs,
Say hello to my little friend. Hey.
will.i.am,
Be a thought donor. I'ma go hard like a motherfucking boner.
Sir Tom Jones, Jessie J, Rita Ora, Jennifer Hudson, Boy George, Kylie Minogue, Ricky Wilson, Anne-Marie, and a handful of other judges that you'll see on screen now. Now these coaches or judges, or whatever term seems more reasonable to call them, I wouldn't call them coaches personally. They are the real reason that people watch The Voice. Danny Cohen, the BBC One controller in 2011 when The Voice first started, even focused on this, quoted as saying, "Our lineup of Tom Jones, Jessie J, will.i.am and Danny O'Donoghue gives us megastar quality, great musical range and musicians we know our audience love." I take this standpoint to mean they made the show for entertainment. I mean, obviously it is a TV show at the end of the day. It is all about the entertainment for the viewers. But it also shows that talent itself gets a little sidelined, focusing more on the judges' rapport with each other than anything else. Now, an important thing to note is the way that The Voice is framed and set up. The judges face the audience, with the camera often focusing on the judges' reactions to the singer. The singer is often in the background of most shots in the audition stage, with the judges in the foreground. There is a standoff between some judges when they want to turn around but aren't sure, or are waiting for some standout moment to press the button, which sometimes doesn't come. Oftentimes, there's just frames of them almost about to hit a button, but then they never actually do. Imagine being one of the acts that the judges don't turn round for. How devastating and disheartening this would be for you. In the newest series this year, 2021, as I'm recording this, the judges have access to one block in the blind auditions, which means they can block one of the other judges out of being able to turn around if they really want the singer to pick them as their coach over the other judges. This adds to the competition between these judges that the Voice viewers are really watching the show for. It adds a bit of drama, which further reinforces that the Voice focuses more on the judges than the talent. Because The Voice has its entertainment rooted in the judges and its wholesome marketing judging people solely on their vocal ability, we don't see any quote-unquote comedic moments in terms of auditions, no acts of cruelty by airing people who are lacking awareness of how bad they are, and no showing any questionable rants from slightly vulnerable people.
Boo! Yeah? You're not going to be like, yeah, normal, are you?
It was not great, girls.
Who are you?
Now, I do think this show was created with good intentions, which is more than can be said of other TV shows in this field. Good intentions aside, how many people can you recall, winners or otherwise, that have actually gone on to be successful after The Voice? Unless it's someone you know personally, I doubt there's many people that you can name, if anyone at all. So what do they participate in The Voice for? Well, when people win The Voice, the UK winners originally got £100,000 and a record deal to Polydor Records, a part of Universal Music Group. That was until 2015 when it was dropped by the BBC, then picked up by ITV, its competitor in the UK. Since then, the cash prize has been dropped, only the record deal remains. In America, the winners still get $100,000, a record deal with Universal Music Group itself, because they own everything, and the most important prize, a weird fuck you trophy? Third point, winners don't win.
I, the undersigned, shall forfeit all rights, privileges, and licenses herein and herein contained, etc., etc. Fax mentis incendium gloria culpum, etc., etc. Memo bis punitor delicatum. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You
signed a record deal handed to you from producers of a talent show, handing over your rights to a substantial chunk of your creative life.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
To understand why winners don't really win, you have to understand the producers who run The Voice aren't the same people who run the record labels. There's a conflict of interest here between the TV producers, who want the entertainment side of the show to thrive, catering for a relatability factor to the audience, and the record labels, who want to sell records, obviously. Sometimes an act that is great to watch on TV doesn't have the same ability or star power to sell records. The TV producers expect the record label to make an effort in promoting the winners to help push the promise of this is what you can become when you win The Voice. In return, the record label gets to keep a huge chunk of profits of whatever the artist goes on to release, whether it's record sales, merchandise, live performance, endorsement deals, and songwriting royalties. They own pretty much every aspect of that artist's life. American Idol, X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, any other Simon Cowell endeavour supposedly keeps their artists under wraps with one of these deals. They're called 360 deals. It's a horrible, terrible deal that anyone who's ever faced with one of these should absolutely 100% refuse. In some cases, the record label mismanages the winners, definitely not making them a priority, even going as far as some record label executives straight up having no idea who they are. The winners of seasons 1, 5, 7, 8 and 11 of the US Voice being dropped by the label almost as quickly as they were signed, as well as the winners of season 2 and 6 and a runner-up from season 11 being shelved but not explicitly dropped from the label, it's safe to say that winners of The Voice just aren't a priority for the actual people in the music industry. I mean, they've got their priorities and money elsewhere, literally owning almost every famous pop act you can think of. These winners and contestants of a TV show end up as nothing more than semi-popular celebrities with a very short time in the spotlight.
I said good day!
Which leads to my last point. There's no easy way in. The Voice as a TV show may have genuinely started with good intentions, but this and shows like it end up completely warping the public image of the music industry, with so many people expecting long-lasting success from winning these sorts of competitions, following in their idols like Little Mix, One Direction, JLS, Leona Lewis. I'm only talking about UK X Factor contestants at the minute because, quite frankly, I don't really know that many American Idol winners or whatever the relevant thing is, which pretty much proves my point further, if anything. Unfortunately, these people get their hopes raised up by TV shows when at the end of the day, a TV show is all it is. There's no easy way to infiltrate the music industry in that way and succeed, especially not today. We'll move on to the X Factor. Morally questionable, former celebrity machine. Now with the X Factor, again, they do have people who are genuinely talented. They would rather show people having a meltdown or people who lack awareness instead of just having the most talented vocalists.
Artist, I'm a performer. I'm a performer. I'm not boring, am I? Come on, let's be honest. I'm me.
Okay.
This is how I choose to express myself.
Just
Nah, the music's my life. It's all I really want to do.
Just see if you can keep your mouth shut for 1 minute.
What makes it worse is that much like The Voice, every audition we see has already been through like 3 previous auditions in front of producers. And it's been approved over the course of those several previous auditions by the producers. In the case of X Factor, these pre-auditions can somewhat hold some malicious intent. These people are brought onto the show, they're vulnerable and often used as laughingstock. They're staged to come across as their first shot at impressing the judges, but they've actually been put forward and approved by multiple sets of producers, leading them to believe they have somewhat of a chance, only to end up being laughed at and belittled on national TV by the judges, which often goes viral afterwards. This is a conscious decision by the producers to create a buzz, an entertaining twist to the show, which is sickening. The thing is they create a show that appears genuine when it never is truly genuine. Everything is set up by the producers, every shocking moment is purposely crafted by the showrunners. Contestants are told what to sing and how to act. They're not allowed to choose what song they sing a lot of the time. They've already chosen the people who do well long before the auditions that we see on screen. I'm going to show a scene from X Factor where someone pulls the curtains back a bit, and it's the audition from someone called Zoe Alexander. I think it shows the panic in all the judges and producers' faces when she reveals what happens.
Do a lot of people tell you you look like Pink?
Yes, that's what I do for a living.
What?
I'm a Pink tribute artist.
What do you call yourself?
I call myself Zoe Alexander as Pink.
Okay.
But we want to get rid of the as Pink.
As Pink.
And we
you
just want to be
be
Zoe Alexander. Doing Pink is amazing, and I love it. But it's a day job. I want to be Zoe.
What are you hoping to get out of today?
I'm hoping to get a bit of an identity, my own identity.
And Zoe, what are you going to sing?
I'm going to sing So What by Pink.
Pink, okay. Off you go.
I actually quite liked your image when you came out, and then when you told me about Pink, I realised, okay, you based it on Pink. This is what
No, I didn't base it on Pink.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I'm trying to get away from the Pink thing.
Okay, see, the problem is that you came out saying that you wanted to, find your own identity. It's very confusing for me because I did feel like I was watching a Pink tribute act.
Should we get a second song?
Yeah.
I want to give you a chance because you kind of blew it on that. Can you be yourself?
Yes.
Off you go.
What are you going to sing, Zoe?
Emily Sandé next to me. That's
Emily Sandé.
Okay. And be you. Be you. Be you. Be you.
I'm always being me. Whenever I'm on stage, I'm doing what flows
We're
out
trying to
of
help
me.
you.
I really like your energy up there. I think you have a pretty good voice. I honestly think that you need to go away and take the time to find yourself as an artist, who you are.
Yeah, Zoe, I'm confused with the identity issue. You know, coming out saying you wanted an identity, then you sing Pink. I thought that the second song was much better, but I do think you need to go away and really find your own lane and find what sounds right for your voice, because at the moment it just sounds like every other average sort of singing voice.
Zoe, it's a pity because you've got a great look. You absolutely look like a pop star, but the vocal was just very, very average.
Zoe, I'm afraid it's a no from me.
Sorry, it's a no today.
Sorry, it's a no for now.
You told me to sing a Pink song. I didn't want to sing a Pink song. You guys told me to sing a Pink song.
We never told you to sing a Pink song. We never told you to sing a Pink song.
I wanted to be me. You guys told me to sing a Pink song.
We heard a second song.
Whoa. We never told you to sing a Pink song. Did you hear that come out of our mouths, any of us?
Listen, we had a second song from you as well.
It's your audition, and you messed up. I'm sorry.
No, baby, no. No, baby, no.
Stay on the stage. Stay on the stage.
I tried to help her.
You did. You said come back as Zoe. And we gave her a second song.
She got the same chance everyone else gets.
That was the audition from Zoe Alexander. I'll also link her response to it on the screen somewhere, as well as in the description, where she reveals a lot of the manipulation that the producers put her through and a few more behind the scenes tricks that they try and cover up for the actual show. I really recommend you give it a watch, as she gives an in-depth recall of her nightmare of an audition from personal experience. The whole advantage of the X Factor is it has undeniably created fame, whether in these sometimes misled characters or people who had their eyes on being famous from the start, such as Rylan Clark Neal. Stacey Solomon, who became a refreshing younger face on a panel of nosy old ladies. Ollie Murs, every mum's favourite pop star. And then there's people who turn into complete dicks like James Arthur. There's also people who were very popular for a relatively short amount of time, like Leona Lewis and Cher Lloyd.
I'm going to sing Cher Lloyd by Cher Lloyd.
Why does somebody not know how to flush a toilet after they've had a shit?
That's what I mean.
Well, I was fucking one of yous. Disgusting!
And of course, quite possibly the most famous, the groups. One Direction, JLS and Little Mix. The former two have had members to do significantly well on their own accord. This goes to create a public image that they are a celebrity making machine, which really doesn't help how people view the music industry. In terms of entertainment, it was often one of the most watched things on TV at its peak in 2010. This has slowly declined since, so much so that in 2018, X Factor dropped below the top 15 programs on the channel for a third of the episodes, only averaging around 6 million, which sounds like a lot, but when you see the numbers steadily dropping over the years, it's not hard to imagine that soon the X Factor will be off our screens for good. The difference between the X Factor and The Voice is that there have been a plethora, yeah I said it, a plethora.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Of number ones. Up to 2015, there had been 35 number ones produced by X Factor contestants. They were, however, mostly covers. Now the thing with covers is that when you release a cover, the royalty money goes to the songwriter, who obviously isn't the X Factor contestant because it's a cover, and the mechanical royalties which go to the studio it was recorded in, which is likely to be owned by Simon Cowell. I can't believe anyone looks like this. Who also, funnily enough, owns the show. So even though the song goes big, the only person it really benefits is Simon Cowell and his record company. Since 2015 though, just like the ratings, the chart placing of these contestants appears to have dwindled. Why has X Factor declined? Well, the internet. There's almost a direct correlation with the rise of social media platforms and the decline of X Factor ratings for one reason or another. Because of the internet, we have found that firstly, it's a load of bullshit. The curtains have been pulled back on the show, word of mouth spreads way quicker online, meaning people don't buy into the cringe factor anymore. They know that it's just been set up for the show, and when the illusion's broken, it kind of makes everything suck. Also, there are a lot better pop stars that have come from making their career with the help of the internet instead of the cringe that gets forced by the X Factor, making it come across like the how do you do fellow kids. You know, that picture, that scene. There are also a lot more things to watch these days on lots of different platforms. You are free to watch something catered exactly to your taste on something like Netflix or YouTube or live streams on Twitch. Check out twitch.tv/JackConsgate instead of settling for whatever is on TV. There was already a small departure from mainstream music charts before streaming platforms, with YouTube stars making it bigger than X Factor ever could, such as Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran. Before the rise of Spotify and other fairly recent internet streaming platforms, there were more young people paying attention to TV and radio as a way of discovering music. I know I was in that sort of generation, so X Factor was perfect for that demographic. Relatively young and impressionable without easy access to music at my fingertips. I had a phone that could barely run things like YouTube, and not many people had caught on to how popular you could really become using the internet. However, that's not the case anymore. YouTube is a much more popular place with kids using smartphones at a younger and younger age. There's literally babies using YouTube. The real way to become popular these days is to use the internet to its full potential. Have an account on every possible platform and use it to create, promote and grow. Get a consistent audience of people who return for that content. Have the freedom to explore your own creativity and craft your own world, because these record labels want to control your creativity and control your world. Going on something like the X Factor, you're handing the worst type of company your talent and spark on a silver platter. Look at Louis Walsh. What are you actually good for? You manipulate young musicians who want to be famous, who know absolutely nothing about the music industry, into signing their lives and careers away at your shit label, pocket the profits and promote this vision of everyone could be famous if you just go on the X Factor. And you're creepy as fuck.
Still there? Are you still there, babe?
Okay, we're gonna go for...
She's on the baby. She's on the tour, which is going to be incredible. It's on the tour. I know. Hold on a second. Why are you grabbing my tour? I'm looking. Until we can see them, please.
This creates a perpetual cycle of people who don't really know anything about the music industry and get them to sign deals giving away their creative lives and their potential for a lot of money. And the lift to fame is televised, which means more people see it and that cycle just continues. Now I'll move on to my conclusion, final notes, whatever. People who like pop stars like them because their life to them is a dream. It's unobtainable, which is why they're often put on pedestals and held so highly. But the fact of the matter is, musicians that have actually made it in the industry are the ones that have been building up a dedicated, genuine following for years. They've built up this following of genuinely dedicated fans who create an emotional bond with the artist, who grow up with them, watch their live performances, buy their merch. They find deep cuts. These are things you can only get by having years of experience building and honing your craft. There is no easy way to get that genuine growth and sustenance, no matter what the TV show tells you. With The Voice, X Factor and any similar shows, the years of building that fan base don't exist. Instead, you've had a following for weeks or months if you're lucky, and then once the show is over, everybody's forgotten about you just as quickly as they got to know you. By the time your album comes out, it flops, partly because anyone who didn't watch the show has no idea who you are, partly because the audience you do have are mostly disinterested in actually buying your albums. Then the next series rolls around and you're back where you started, probably working a part-time job or going back to singing fortnightly at open mic nights at the local pub. What's getting worse for winners as the years go by is that people don't really watch TV as much anymore. Your potential following from these shows is lessened even more every year, which brings me to some wise advice. Stay away from things like X Factor. If you want to make it in the music industry, you need to put in the time and the effort. There's no quick way really to make it big in the music industry. If it's not the love of what you do that keeps you going and you're looking for the easiest way up, maybe this profession isn't for you and it should just stay as a hobby. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new here and you want to see more, then consider subscribing. You can always unsubscribe later if you end up not liking the content that I put out, but I try to vary what I upload. I tried doing something comprehensive this time round with a little video essay sort of thing, So let me know if you like this sort of content going forward, because I am interested to put the time in and do a bit more if it's something that you want to see. I enjoyed making this a lot. I probably will end up just doing stuff like this a bit more in the future. You should check out the references for some of the information and graphs that I used in this video, as well as links to my other platforms on social media. Got a TikTok now, and follow me on Twitch as well. I'll leave all the links to all that stuff in the description below. I just want to say thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, whatever it may be. Bye!